Okay, by memory, if all the generators were on, would you have good memory?
Yeah.
That's how you do it.
No, but if you're to memorize something, isn't there something?
Oh, by memory techniques, you can stand on there, and at the bottom of the bounce, you get your children, and you can memorize music. You memorize things at the bottom of the bounce. Do, A, B, C, D, and at the bottom of the bounce, it does something to the memory. By the way, if a person, if they have cross eyes, they've done this, and at the top of the bounce, their eyes go straight. Okay? It's interesting what happens on here. Even visual therapists are using this now to help people with their eyes. They have them in their offices as they jump up and down. It's just now we're understanding a lot more of what goes on in here. Okay? Okay. Now we've got that part. Let me take and go now to number 15. We talked about that before, and that's the smashed finger. Yes.
Okay, if lymph fluid moves up and has check valves going one way, why are you stroking down?
Okay, the energy. Okay, thank you for saying that. I knew I had a story right here. Remember the lady I said had arthritis, 10 years on crutches? Uh-huh. Her legs were frozen solid when I saw her. She was that bad, and they had her in a meeting. They brought her home. Now, because her legs were out like this, she could not sit down and stand up by herself. They had to help her because her legs were out here. She could not bring her legs to right angles. They were frozen out here. And when they brought her home crying with pain, and when I got to her house, she was going, "Oh, my legs, oh, my legs." And I says, "I've got a theory on how to take the pain out of those legs." She says, "Well, what do you want to do?" I says, "I want to put my hands on her leg, make a fast, quick stroke." She says, "Well, try it." And so I put my hands on her and said, "Oh!" She screamed. "Don't do that." "Oh, nothing. Ow." She could not stand the slightest touch coming this direction. Theory. I believe there's a blockage in that leg. And coming this way, increase the pressure and cause more problems. Forcing it. When I come down like this, she said, "That I can take, very touch that way, I can take it." I says, "Fine." I think I was releasing as I come this way, and it was helping to somehow. I wasn't forcing it, I was releasing it from here and giving it a place to come. And I was releasing it. And as I started stroking this way, pretty quick I began to increase the pressure and increase the stroke. I knew I was getting somewhere. Yeah. After a while I says, "How's this?" "Oh," she says, "I can take that now too." I says, "Fantastic, we're making headway." And in about 20 minutes, the time element is significant. In about 20 minutes she began to smile. She said, "The pain's coming out, it's coming out." And boy, when she started to smile, I started smiling. And pretty quick we were going full length on those legs. And in the next few minutes she says, "I'm going to sit up." And she sat up and her legs come to right angles with no pain. "Well, look at that," she says. "I'm going to cross my legs." And as she crossed her legs, she shouted with joy, "Look at here, look at here, look at here." I put my head in my hands and said, "Wow, it works." What if you'd have done that? You got excited? Boy, we did. We got excited. And we got so excited, we took her in the other room, we laid her down. We started going over her whole body, this light fastro. This is in Mesa, Arizona. So I have my clinic there. It's an naturopath. Light fastro. And the next half hour, she says, "I'm going to sit up." She sat up and she threw her legs on and off the bed by herself, just saying, "She look at there." And then she says, "I'm going to walk." And she got up and walked without pain, without crutches. And it happened within about 1 hour. After she'd been 10 years on crutches. Now, with this understanding, does it make sense to you? Yes or no?
Yes.
Could you comprehend that without this research?
No.
Impossible. What we're now saying is the joints can be frozen solid from clustered proteins before they are frozen solid with calcium. That is our theory now. That the fluid retention in those joints can become so great and so hard that you think they're solid because you can't move without pain. So you're right there. But you get those blood proteins out. Now, had it been frozen solid with calcium, we could not have removed it that fast, right?
Correct.
It would have taken longer. But it comes down. Now, there's something else. Everyone who I have seen who got help real fast have already been eating good for a long time. They've been on a good diet. They've been on a good program. They have been trying. Their system is clean. Now, if the system is full of poisons, and you tried to do that, if the system is full of poisons, you move the blood proteins out, the poisons would reproduce the problem. It dilate capillaries and reproduce those fat proteins back out. So before a person may get stay well, you may have to cleanse the body, okay? Because the people who I have seen who've got help quickly have been eating right, doing right, trying to do good for a number of years, and all they needed was to uncluster those proteins and give it a chance, and they come out and they stayed out. See, Perry Barker, like I said, was on 2.5 years. He'd be on his feet for a maximum of 3 minutes before he dropped with pain. He had physicians in his family. And they says, Perry, if we operate on you, we'll leave you an invalid. Just live with your pain. And Perry come and saw this, and he started his life fast stroke. He got his system going, where he began going over his body like this. And in 48 hours, he was out of pain for the first time in 3 years. Working 8 hours a day on his farm. Then he run for mayor of Pleasant View, Utah, and he made it and blames it on me. But anybody can call Perry Barker mayor of Pleasant View, Utah, and he'll give you the whole story. He converted one of the doctors, members of his family, and he'd come to 6 of these sessions. And as he stood up in the sessions, he'd stand up and tell the people the discoveries were right, and he sent people to me all over the state. Well, see, that was before we had all the credibility we have now. See, now we have Dr. Olszewski in Poland, and I told you in Montreal, Canada. I was listening to his presentation twice. He talked about massaging the foot. I saw him after the Congress. How did you massage the foot? He says, I didn't. What did you do? I did that. I said, you mean that moves lymphatics? You saw the charts. I said, you just discovered one of the greatest techniques there were. Now you'll understand. I was in the airport, and I told him, I was in the airport, the luggage fell over on my hand. It was this way. Fell over, and it fell in my hand. They had to lift it off of me, and boy, I was bruised, I was black and blue, and I held on. I applied pressure, just like when we talked about the smashed finger. The damaged cells, they were damaged. I applied the pressure. Okay? Within 5 to 20 minutes, lymphatics pull the poisons out, right? If you turn loose, the poisons dilate the blood capillaries, out come out the blood proteins, the fluid, it swells it up. You got the problem. I applied the pressure, just like I do a smashed finger. Hurry up. I waited about 5 minutes, and most pain is gone, and I started that light fast stroke. I started stroking. It was black and blue. And as the black and blue started to disappear, as we turned the generators on, and the heat electrically. I mean, those generators work electrically. And as the black and blue started to disappear, the limousine driver says, I don't believe that. And I said, neither do I. I mean, I had heard people tell me about it, but this is the first time I actually saw an injury reversed. And within 20 minutes, my hand was totally healed. There wasn't a sign of an injury, not a sign. The black and blue was totally gone. Well, I got home, and one of my little boys come out of the house. Somebody hit him across the bare back with a plastic bat. He'd come out bleeding, screaming bloody murder, and, well, let's go take the pain away. And so I'm now going to give you some other, a few more advanced techniques before we come back to this. Let's go to page 203. And we'll come back and hit the others. It won't take us very long now to... You've got the information, but now we're in postgraduate school now. Well, we're teaching you now. I mean, if somebody would come in right now into this class for the first time and hear what we're talking about, could they anywhere near comprehend it?
No way.
Okay, the more you learn, the simpler things become, you see. But to get things in their simplicity, you've got to learn a lot. Don't take a back seat, because your knowledge is now an understanding that is superior, that most people could not comprehend it at all without what you've now learned. Okay? Just because it's simple, don't say, oh, that was it that easy. It took a lot of years to get the knowledge and understanding to comprehend these things. On page 203, this is called the bioelectric pinpoint technique. Say it. The bioelectric pinpoint technique. Now, I was in the airport this one time, another time, and the luggage strap slipped, hit me in the mouth, and busted my lip. Now, I was in trouble. I went over to the sky cap, and I said, I'm in trouble. I says, I don't care if you believe this or not. I says, do it. And I knew I didn't have enough energy to do this myself. I said, put your fingertips on mine. And he did. Like this. Now, if you want to do it to yourselves, each other, put your hands like you're holding a bottle. Cup your fingers like hold the bottle. Now, you touch fingertips in the thumb, like that. Okay, left hand to left hand.
Left hand to left hand.
Okay. So I did like we're holding a bottle. You got it?
Do you see it? Here.
You got it there? Okay.
Got it. Two if you can.
Okay, now.
Okay.
My trouble was here on my lip. So one of you put your hand on your lip like this. One of you. Now the other one, you put your right hand on mine. I told him, I said, put your right hand on mine, and he did. Now that's connecting left hand to left hand, right hand to right hand. The energy fields are now complete, right? Now this is a very powerful technique. I have relieved pain with this technique where I could not touch it with anything else. We held on about 2 minutes' time, and most of the pain was gone, and I said, thank you, and he thought I was crazy.
Now, you could do that with right on right.
Okay, thank you. Okay.
It could be right or right.
No, left to left, right hand, the point of pain. If you can, if you can. I got on the airplane, and my lips started to swell up again, and so I tapped into the light socket. Now, I call this the light socket. Here you have a lot of generators, right? A lot of electric energy fields, a high source of energy in here, right? So you tap into the light socket like that with the left hand. And I put my right hand then upon my lip like this. And lo and behold, the pain come out, the fluid come right out of that lip. Just as slick as could be. I was amazed because that was proof. Fat protein is excess fluid, and we moved it out. I turned loose, it started to come back. I put my hand like this and took it out again. I turned loose, started to come back, and then I took it away. After a while, I turned loose, and I just kept it away, and by nighttime, I couldn't even feel the scar. Nobody knew I was even hurt. It healed in 1 day. Can you understand that now? Mm-hmm. We turned the generators on, and it healed. Just like the smashed finger, like we talked about. We can take smashed fingers, like the little boy caught his finger in the back of the elevator door. The woman said the other day her son was caught, brought that hand right back behind the door. When they got it out, it was just smashed, and she went to work with the stroking techniques, and in 45 minutes, they never knew the hand was hurt, and it was smashed. It was bad. We've had people cut their fingers to the bone, catch them in car doors, smash their fingers. And when they grab that finger and hold on, what do? They hold on, or apply ice, or whatever. They hold on. Within 5 to 20 minutes, the lymphatics will pull the poisons out. It's the poisons causing the initial trauma. We talked about this yesterday. It's the poisons attacking the pain sensors, the nerve endings. That's what causes the initial trauma. Within 5 to 20 minutes, most of the time within 5, the lymphatic system will pull the poisons out and the pain goes away. When you turn loose, there is no swelling. If you turn loose before that time, you turn loose while the poisons are still there, it'll dilate the blood capillaries, the poisons will, to dilate them, the poisons come out in the water and swell that finger up. But if you wait till the poisons are gone, and the pain's gone, you turn loose, and that finger stays like that, or the generator's on or off. That means it heals within a short period of time. 9 times out of 10, it doesn't turn black and blue, and you don't even lose your fingernail. Is it making sense now?
Yeah, that one works. I've used
See?
that one.
That one works, she says. And people, okay. Well, that's exciting to see these things work. Now, the next technique is over on page 2. Oh, well, maybe let the certified pathologist show this one. The resident pathologist. Well, let's go ahead and show it here. It'll be fine. Page 205, this is called the bioelectric energy field technique. Say it. The bioelectric energy field technique. Now, I learned this from Dr. Decker, who was a chiropractor before he died. He taught me this technique, and you had people who was blind, and he'd find blind people, and he did this technique, and he says in about several months, they began to see blurry visions and so forth. They began to see as they put the energy and moved out the trap proteins. But the technique is like this. Put your hands like this. There's energy coming out of your fingers. Now put the fingers a ½ inch apart. Now without understanding what we've done so far, you could not comprehend this. Now I want you to keep in mind, I have not taught you any technique until I have prepared you with information to understand it. True or false? True. Do the same thing with your families and loved ones. You don't go and say, hey, look what I learned. Because without knowing what you now understand, you could not comprehend what you're seeing here. This is why they're in the back of the book. The fingers are ½ inch apart, and you rotate the fingers gently, and as you rotate the fingers, the magnetic current's going around the earth, you'll generate, well, clockwise like this, the other way. That's it. You generate an electrical field, and you can sort of feel it. It feels like it's sort of a little bit heavy. You can hear, can't you? The atmosphere is here just right. Now, if you make a heart shape out of it like this, zoom, 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 there you've got it. Can you feel it?
Yeah.
Now, what you going to do with it? Okay. Now, Dr. Decker had blind people throw it in their eyes. Okay? 6 seconds. Okay. Now, the first time I tried this, is I had a girl come in with a turned ankle. Now, she was in my chemistry class, and she came in with crutches. This is the second time she come in, is right after Dr. Decker showed her this, and I said, I'm going to give it the good old college try. So I propped her ankle up, and I threw this bioelectric energy field into her ankle. And I said, boy, I'm going to give it everything I got. And I went till I was really tired. I just couldn't go any longer. And I said, well, get up and try it. And she goes to the table and, it's gone. It's gone. And she started running around my office. And I was sitting next to a chair, and I sat down, and I looked at her, and I said, look, you saw it, and I saw it, but don't tell nobody how we did it. At that time, I did not have enough information to realize, and I didn't have the explanation. This is why I began to go in, and why, when I taught chemistry, I went across the hall to Chase, who taught biology. And I said, Chase, you got a good book on circulation. He said, yes, here's the medical text. Somebody gave it to me, take it. And that's how I got Guyton's text in my hands. It was during the 5th year of teaching chemistry in '74 when he put that book in my hands. I opened it and saw blood proteins causing death. Then I connected blood proteins and everything together. And it just began to grow from there. But I had a young boy with a steel bar down his back when he was a little boy. He come to me, he's about 19 years of age. He looked like he was 60. He was in constant pain. He couldn't stand, he couldn't sit. I said, well, can you lay down? He said, yes. And he laid down and tears come out of his eyes. I said, I thought you could lay down. He said, I can, but it hurts. I said, stand up. His name was Scott Neidiger. And I said, does that hurt? Yes, sir. Does that hurt? Yes, sir. I could not touch him without pain. And so I told his partner that was with him, I said, you take this bioelectric energy field and you take it and throw it around his body like this. I said, I don't know what else to tell you. You can't touch him, you can't stroke him, you can't do anything with him. Take this bioelectric energy field and throw it around his back, around his body like this. And do it as often as you can, thank you. They come back a week later, his partner's arms were shot. But Scott Neidiger stood before me a week later without any pain in his back whatsoever. It was totally gone. And this friend never touched him. When he saw the pain coming out of his friend's back, he just kept going and kept going and kept going. He had actually almost ruined his arms. His arms were just down, but not happening. But his friend, his little buddy, and I talked to Scott 4 years later. How you doing, Scott? He says, I'm getting married. The pain has never come back. 1 week. And he had been that way since a little boy. They put that steel bar down his back. The steel bar was still there, but there was no pain. Now that's exciting, you see. Now you can understand the polio patient. When she stood like this, Dorothy Howard. And for 10 months old till 65, she was like this, and she got this concept. And she stood on the lymphocytes then and thought of the energy down that polio leg, just like she did. And in 4 months, for the first time in her life, her heel was on the floor, standing 3 inches taller, the pain out of the back, moving the toes, and the feeling coming back to the paralyzed leg. Now, is that story becoming understandable to you?
Yeah.
And then there's thing at the beginning, when I first told that at the beginning of this course, you couldn't comprehend it, could you?
Nope.
How in the world could somebody 65 years have something like that happen in 4 months? But now we can understand those cells are continually being replaced. The bone cells are continually being replaced. If we get those blood proteins out there, just because the bones are like this today doesn't mean they have to be like that tomorrow. Because the calcium can dissolve and the joints can go perfect. It's exciting. Okay. We're into postgraduate school now, you see. We're showing things now. We're out of graduate school. We're in postgraduate. We're talking about things now that takes a lot of understanding, this total thing, to comprehend. And that's why we don't let anyone come to the second class who has never been to the first. Because without the beginning, they could never comprehend what we're saying here now. Okay? Well, there's a lot more we can go into, but let me end up by going into the vital organs, and then we'll end up with migraine, headache, lower back problems. And we're going to call it for this session. Have you believed you've learned enough to make it worthwhile? Okay. All right. Let's go to page 67 again, and let's go into the liver, the gallbladder, the spleen, the pancreas, and so forth, and the various organs, and then we'll take the migraine headaches, and we'll end with the migraine headaches today.
Okay.
So, page 67. Okay. Now let's all stand up again. We're going to take figures. Let me see your book. A second. Okay, we're into the page 11. We've already done 8, 9, and 9A. We've done, this is the arms. Remember, we take the sore arm problems, and one lady, I forget, oh, as far as I can go right there. Oh, as far as I can go. And she started the light fast stroke on her arm. We went to work. Hey, that arm come right on up. I want you to know that I have been injured terribly bad. I fell down the stairs twice, and the arms come back this way, and totally, the muscles, the ligaments were torn, my arms were hurt, and I went to work with these techniques. Had I not known these techniques, I know I would have been crippled. Because I was down. It took 2 years. I could stroke it, could take the pain away, but I kept moving my arms. Every time I move my arms, it injures it again. See those? You can't stop moving the arms to stop that injury. It keeps injured. So I kept going. It took 2 years to heal it. Well, the other day, my son bought me an exercise machine. This big bar with this big spring in the middle. See, let's see how far, boom, how far I can bend it. And I said, I can do that too. I went to thump, and I hit it about 20 times, so and I could do almost as much as he did. And he was better than me, but I pumped away at that thing, and the next morning I grabbed it again twice. And when I got into Arizona, going that next trip, my arms set up a holler. And let me tell you, I feel back, and I feel the pain, and I find out where it's at, and I hold. I apply pressure, and the massage, and I hold. And then I stroke. And I tell you, I know there's no way that I could be without pain. I couldn't raise up. I couldn't comb my hair. I couldn't do anything. And it takes time. But they come out, and now I'm coming so much better now, without pain. Yes.
I have a pinched nerve or something in my back, and it causes pain in my shoulder right through here. But it comes and goes. It's just back and forth all the time. Will this help that?
Okay, now, this is the training as your radiopharmacologist. You answer that question, and they hang you. If you didn't have any trap protein in there, would you have that problem? Isn't that interesting? Okay. Remember what we said? The name of the problem, everybody said. The name of the problem, the name of the disease means nothing anymore. It doesn't mean a thing. Without trap proteins, you're down that negative pressure. There's no trap protein, no access to it.
Yeah, but is it in my back or is it in my arm? Because you said I have a pinched nerve in my back, so is it in my
It
back?
could go up in the arm. Yes, it could. It is referred pain. It's referred pain. I can have a pain here or anywhere, and it's causing up in here. I woke up one morning, and these of my wrist is paralyzed. Now, you've heard people say, I woke up, and there I was. Yeah. Well, I woke up, and there I was, and I was frightened. I mean, everything moved. Everything except the wrist and those fingers. Boy, and it scared me. Hold that just a second. I went to work on the fingers, massaging and rubbing the arm. I went to work, massaging, and then I found a very painful spot back here on the shoulder, just like a boil. I found that spot, and I began to work that spot. I get back there, and I pressed, and I worked, and I kept going. It took 30 days. It took 30 days before my arm felt normal. But I got the hand and the arm back to normal. Now, had I not known this, and oh dear, and I left it that way, and let the disease process take place, it might have shut off, and I would have had maybe a very difficult time, if ever, to return it. True? Nobody knows. And we're beginning to comprehend, see. We've done 9 and 9A. Okay, now let's go liver and gallbladder and spleen and pancreas, figure 11 and 12. Okay? Okay, let's hold this for me. Okay, now I should put it down. Okay, let's take the liver and gallbladder. Liver's on the right-hand side. How many want a better liver? Okay, fantastic, okay? The liver's put the right hand right under the right rib cage. That's where the liver is. Just lay it right there. Put the right hand right there. Put the left hand upon the right shoulder. Upon the right shoulder. Left hand upon the right shoulder. Now, why? Because that concentrates the energy, okay? We're doing mining from energy. Now, comb the fingers with the right hand. Now, put the right hand right in here. Now, we're going to go down underneath the rib cage. Underneath there, with that little fast stroke, which is getting the liver and gallbladder. Say it. Liver and gallbladder. Liver and gallbladder. Liver and gallbladder. All right, fantastic. Now, spleen and pancreas, let's reverse. And here's the spleen and pancreas. It's on the other side, the same way. Let's go. Spleen and pancreas, spleen and pancreas, spleen and pancreas. Now, let's get them both same time. Here we go. Liver and gallbladder, spleen and pancreas. Liver and gallbladder, spleen and pancreas. Now, to speed it up, we're going to go like this. Now, listen to the theory behind this. You go, you move lymphatic, right? When you take a deep breath, your lymphatic shoots. You hit it. You make the light fast stroke. You speed it, put energy in there, and zap, unfasten those proteins, and boom. You get them out of there, okay? Okay, so you walk around the house. So don't just waste your time walking around the house. Do some exercises, okay? Great. Now, Now for the kidneys, they're back here, kidneys and adrenals. You massage them down here. Light fast stroke on the kidneys and adrenals the same way. Okay? Now, how many want a better colon? All right. All right, now the colon is a muscle. Trap proteins, reduce the energy fields, and down you go. Constipation is nothing but the thing shut off. Okay? Now, poisons will do it. The load of poison just shuts that thing off. So put the right hand on the right leg, the left hand upon the right shoulder. Now we're going to come up on the right-hand side. This is the ascending colon. Say it.
Ascending colon.
Ileocecal valve.
Ileocecal valve.
Appendix.
Appendix.
Ascending colon.
Ascending colon.
Ileocecal valve. Appendix. Okay, now switch hands. Come across. Put the right hand on that shoulder. Okay. Come across here. We're going to come across the middle. This is the transverse colon. I tell you what, if we would x-ray it, it would look like a swayback horse, okay? No, I don't think there's a good colon in here. Transverse colon. Now, down on the left-hand side. Descending colon. Descending colon. Descending colon. Switch hands. Up on the right. Ascending colon.
Ascending colon.
On the right. Ascending colon.
Ascending colon.
Ascending colon. Ileocecal valve. Appendix. Switch hands. Transverse. Transverse. Descending. Now do both same time. Up on the right, down on the left, up on the right. Now. Fantastic. You know, we've had people constipated for years. And they come back in a couple of months and they're going great.
We're charging for the restrooms now.
we did this in one meeting, and a little gal in back says, it works, and she took off. Okay. Now you can sit down and teach the migraine headache. This is the last technique of the day. Just a minute. No. Oh, did you have a migraine headache problem? Or?
Yeah, I want to show you. I'm at desk, so.
Oh, later. Okay. That's at the end. We'll do it at the end. Now, for migraine headache problem, go to page 56. We now have chiropractors who are using this in their practice. We have one chiropractor who absolutely quit his practice to come to work for us, because he found that 80% of his practice was migraine, headache, and lower back problems. And all at once he found out he could teach people how to do it. And a lot of them can teach people. And now we have one man who's using it and teaching people, and the patients coming to him like man. He's referring people to him, and he's